New Orleans, 1918. A city draped in Spanish moss and steeped in secrets. Jazz music spilled out from dimly lit bars, a sultry symphony echoing through the cobblestone streets. But a darkness was about to descend upon New Orleans, a terror that would turn its lively melodies into mournful cries. This wasn't the usual undercurrent of violence in a city known for its vices. This was something far more sinister, something that would etch itself onto the soul of New Orleans forever. The French Quarter, with its wrought iron balconies and gaslight glow, held its breath. Behind its vibrant facade, fear began to fester. Whispers of gruesome murders spread like wildfire, each one more unsettling than the last. The victims, mostly Italian immigrants, hardworking families trying to carve their piece of the American dream. New Orleans in the early 1900s was a melting pot of cultures, a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences. Yet, beneath its lively exterior, the city harbored a dark underbelly. Poverty, corruption, and organized crime thrived in the shadows, casting long shadows over the city's soul. The Italian community, often marginalized and misunderstood, struggled to find their footing in this unfamiliar world. They clung to their traditions, their language, their music, seeking solace and strength in their shared heritage. But their close-knit community made them an easy target. Their trust and vulnerability ruthlessly exploited. The Axeman's reign of terror focused on these Italian immigrants, their homes becoming his hunting grounds. Fear became a constant companion, seeping into their dreams, poisoning their waking hours. The Axeman was a phantom, a whisper in the night. No one knew who he was, where he came from, or why he chose to terrorize New Orleans. Some whispered he was a disgruntled former lover, seeking revenge on those who had wronged him. Others claimed he was a voodoo practitioner, his soul consumed by dark magic. He was a shadowy figure, always lurking just out of sight, his face hidden in the darkness. Witnesses claimed to have seen him, a fleeting glimpse of a tall, muscular man, his eyes burning with a strange intensity. The Axeman remained an enigma, a specter haunting the city's psyche. The Axeman's modus operandi was as disturbing as it was baffling. He primarily targeted homes, often those of Italian immigrants, breaking in during the dead of night. His weapon of choice was a simple axe, a tool often used by many residents for everyday chores, now transformed into an instrument of death. The brutality of the attacks was shocking, even in a city accustomed to violence. The Axeman didn't just kill, he seemed to relish in the act, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable carnage. The public, both horrified and strangely captivated, devoured these stories, the Axeman's name on everyone's lips. The city was in the throes of a collective nightmare, each gruesome act a jarring note in the Axeman's symphony of terror. As the body count rose, the city of New Orleans descended into a state of panic. The once vibrant streets fell silent, the air thick with fear and suspicion. The Axeman's reign of terror had a profound impact on the social fabric of the city, transforming everyday life into a nerve-wracking ordeal. People were afraid to leave their homes after dark, the once bustling nightlife reduced to a trickle. The joyous sounds of jazz, once a hallmark of New Orleans' spirit, were replaced by the mournful wails of police sirens and the hushed whispers of terrified residents. The city that never slept had been lulled into an uneasy slumber, its vibrant energy stifled by the specter of the Axeman. Families huddled together in their homes, their doors and windows bolted shut, their sleep punctuated by nightmares, and the chilling thought that they might be the next victims. One of the most intriguing and baffling aspects of the Axeman's reign of terror was his supposed connection to jazz music. In one of his chilling letters to the city, the Axeman claimed to have a peculiar fondness for jazz. He declared that he would spare any home where a jazz band was playing on the night of his choosing. This bizarre proclamation sent shockwaves through the city, adding a layer of the surreal to an already terrifying situation. Suddenly, jazz, the city's soul, was intertwined with its greatest fear. The music that once filled the air with joy and abandon now carried the weight of desperation and a strange macabre hope. Jazz bands, once relegated to the back rooms of saloons and dance halls, found themselves in high demand. Their music, once a form of entertainment, was now seen as a talisman against a terrifying unknown evil. The mournful wail of the trumpet and the rhythmic strum of the banjo became anthems of defiance, a desperate attempt to ward off the darkness. The New Orleans Police Department, faced with mounting pressure and a seemingly unstoppable killer, found themselves outmatched. The investigation was hampered by dead ends, false leads, and the Axeman's uncanny ability to vanish without a trace. Desperate for a break in the case, the police employed all the tools at their disposal, from traditional investigative techniques to more unconventional methods. They interviewed hundreds of suspects, their inquiries leading them down a labyrinth of dead ends and false hopes. Frustration mounted with each passing day, the pressure to catch the Axeman bearing down on the city's law enforcement. They patrolled the streets, their presence a reminder of the ever-present danger. But the Axeman continued to elude their grasp. The newspapers, sensing the growing frustration, published scathing editorials criticizing the police's handling of the case. In a desperate attempt to restore order and reassure a terrified public, the city of New Orleans increased police patrols and offered substantial rewards for information leading to the Axeman's capture. Just as suddenly as it began, the Axeman's reign of terror came to an end. The attacks, once a terrifyingly regular occurrence, ceased completely. The letters, once a source of dread and morbid fascination, stopped appearing. The city of New Orleans, so long held captive by fear, breathed a collective sigh of relief. Theories abounded about the Axeman's sudden disappearance. Some speculated that he had fled the city, seeking refuge from the intense scrutiny of the police and the public alike. Others whispered that he had met an untimely end, his reign of terror cut short by vigilante justice, or perhaps a rival criminal gang. Whatever the reason, the Axeman vanished into the annals of history, leaving behind a legacy of fear, fascination, and unanswered questions. Despite the passage of time, the identity of the Axeman remains a mystery, a puzzle that has baffled historians, criminologists, and armchair detectives for over a century. The lack of a definitive answer has only fueled speculation, turning the Axeman into a mythical figure, his story told and retold with a mix of fear, fascination, and a touch of morbid curiosity. Numerous suspects have been investigated over the years, their lives scrutinized for any possible connection to the gruesome crimes. Theories have been proposed, motives dissected, but the Axeman, like a phantom, has eluded every attempt to unravel his true identity. The lack of closure has only added to the legend, ensuring that the Axeman's story continues to captivate and terrify. The Axeman case remains a testament to the enduring power of mystery, the human fascination with the unknown, and the chilling reality that some crimes may never be solved. The Axeman's reign of terror may have ended in 1919, but his presence continues to be felt in New Orleans today. The legend of the Axeman has become an integral part of the city's folklore, his story woven into the fabric of its history and culture. Like the Spanish moss that drapes the city's trees, the Axeman's legacy continues to linger, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath even the most vibrant of facades. The Axeman's story continues to fascinate visitors and locals alike, his name whispered in hushed tones in the French Quarter's dimly lit bars and alleyways. Walking down those same streets at night, one can almost feel the weight of history, the echoes of terror that still cling to the city's ancient bones. He is a reminder that even in a city known for its joyous spirit and celebration of life, darkness can lurk around every corner. The Axeman's legacy is a complex one, a blend of fear, fascination, and a strange sort of respect for the enduring power of mystery.